Yo, what's up everybody? AyyyKayyy here, and today is an extremely exciting day for the drone racing community. Today officially is the release of the all-new HDZero Halo flight controller. And I am so excited for you guys to get your hands on this. This is something that I've personally been wanting for far too long, and Carl and his team over at HDZero have been working really hard to put together a great product, and they have done just that. I've been flying this flight controller now for 2 months with absolutely zero issues. One of my favorite things about this flight controller is the fact that it is entirely solderless. You do not need to solder to this flight controller whatsoever. You run the cable from your ESC right to your flight controller. You run the cable off of your HDZero V3 VTX right to the flight controller. Well, most of us are probably thinking, well, don't we need to solder on a receiver? You don't. This flight controller now has the all-new 2.4 gigahertz Gemini Diversity ELRS receiver built into the flight controller. There's 2 UFLs on there. The flight controller will come with both the antennas as well, right there in the packaging. All you gotta do is snap on those UFL antennas and you are good to go. I'm gonna share a little bit of flight footage with you guys of me flying this flight controller. This thing performs flawlessly. I'm very happy, very pleased with it. It also has a very low profile to it, which makes building a breeze. I know one of the biggest challenges I personally face with building my rigs with HDZero is being able to fit everything in, as I am a fan of 20mm standoffs. I did not want to go to the higher 25mm standoffs because from my experience, that is not going to be as durable as a 20mm standoff, but at the same time, it was a tough build to get everything to fit in there. So now with this new HDZero Halo flight controller being low profile, the building aspect of it is an absolute breeze. I have it here in my light switch by 533, and it has been absolutely phenomenal. I'm running the Foxeer 60 amp 20x20 ESC along with the HDZero Halo flight controller. As you can see, the HDZero V3 VTX mounted right on top, and there is plenty of room in there. I mean, I am not fighting for room whatsoever. I'm really pleased with just how they engineered this flight controller all around. From what I understand from Carl, with the 2 different versions, they are going to have 2 different price points on them. You have your ICM, which is going to be the cheaper option, I believe, coming in at $65. And then you also have your MPU 6000 version as well, coming in at $85. Again, this thing is just plug and play. You don't need to solder a single thing to this flight controller. But if you want to, you definitely can, of course. There's some really great features built into this flight controller. Make sure you guys head to the HDZero website, pick some up today. I'd imagine these are going to go fast. I'm not sure what the stock looks like on these, but nonetheless, when a flight controller of this nature comes out, I can't help but to think that everybody's going to want to do what they can to get their hands on them. So grab yourself an HDZero Halo flight controller or 2 or 10 today and see how simple these builds are, how low profile they are, and really just how amazing they fly all around together. It's no surprise that HDZero, Carl and his team have produced yet again another top tier product. HDZero is taking the entire community and the market by storm, and they're doing it very well. I'm excited to see what they may have in store next. They've put out a slew of products that are used by pilots all across the world and continue to be used by pilots all across the world. So it's awesome to see them continuously innovating and coming out with new ideas. I'm excited for you guys to get your hands on this flight controller. I've absolutely loved it start to finish. I've been using it for about 2 months now. I've competed in multiple races with it, and I have had zero issues. It has been absolutely top tier, and I know for me personally, this is going to be my go-to flight controller on all my outside rigs for the 2025 season. With that, I wanted to keep it short and sweet, but I'm going to go ahead and include the link below in the description, so be sure you guys click on that link. Go grab yourself a flight controller too, because I promise you, you will not be upset with how well this flight controller is put together. Not to mention, one of the biggest frustrations that I've noticed when you look at people's various builds that run 20mm standoffs running HDZero, It's where do they put the receiver? I've seen the receiver in a million different places. I've seen it behind the stack, kind of hovering before the capacitor right there in that gap. I've seen people mount it on top of the flight controller, between the flight controller and the VTX. I've seen people even mount it below the ESC even as well. Really anywhere they can get it. Even I've seen some ELRS receivers right on top of the top plate. I don't think that's very smart or safe because it's out there in the open, really can take destruction quickly and easily, so there's no longer a need for you to solder up a receiver as it is built into that flight controller. Me personally, that is a huge benefit. Really easy, simple build. You got the diversity, both your antennas. I have one mounted on my top plate and one on my front arm right here. Really simple build, absolutely phenomenal, performs great. Zero issues whatsoever. I am personally flying the MPU 6000 version. I have not had the chance to test out the ICM version, but always feel free to go check out Limon. Yvonne put together a really good video. He had both of them. He shows some black box logs. Check out his YouTube. He's really great. I love his videos. His videos are always really fun and engaging, so make sure you check it out. But nonetheless, thank you, Carl, and your awesome team for all the hard work you do for this community. You guys are absolutely crushing it, and I love that you're truly putting in the effort to create a quality product that everyone can trust and guarantee they're going to be satisfied with their purchase. So make sure you go pick some up today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this short video, and I'll see you guys out in the field.